Hello, hi, and welcome back to my channel. This is my third time filming this video. I don't know what it is, I just cannot articulate today. Sums up, but all good things take time, right? So let's get her done, honey. Alright, in today's video, I'm going to be talking about the books that I read in January 2020. I read 3 books this past month. I'm going to be talking about them in order that I finished them. I'm going to be giving a short summary and kind of like my thoughts about it, the reasonings behind me choosing these specific books. So the first book is The Christmas Sisters by Sarah Morgan. The second book is Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. And the last book that I finished this month was The Starless Sea by Erin Morgenstern. Alright, so we are kicking off today's video with the first book that I finished for this month, which is, again, The Christmas Sisters by Sarah Morgan. So the reason I wanted to pick this one up was just to have a good feel kind of book during the Christmas holidays. And this book definitely met those needs. It was warm, it was cozy, it was set in the Scottish Highlands, which was so atmospheric and so nice to read during this month. But it was a little bit more than I bargained for. I thought it was just going to be like a little quick romance kind of thing. I thought the characters weren't going to be super developed, but this book caught me by surprise. So, as I said, this book is set in the Scottish Highlands during the Christmas season, and we follow the McBride women, follow Suzanne, which is the mother, and then we follow 3 sisters named Hannah, Posy, and Beth. And they all have a certain tension surrounding the holiday season. They all have their own burdens to bear following a tragic accident that happened 20-some years ago, and they get together for the first time in years. And so this book kind of just follows them hashing out old wounds, developing as people, combating their insecurities, and kind of forming together as a family at the end and kind of seeing everybody's different views. So I really liked the family element, I really liked the atmosphere. It was a really good book to cuddle up with and read, just to kind of get away from the second book that I'm going to be talking about. It was a nice breath of fresh air. I found myself wanting to know what happened to the McBride family, and I would suggest you pick it up if you're looking for just a cozy atmospheric read that also has a close sister relationship. I rated this one 4 out of 5 stars just because, like I said, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was nice. I thought it was perfect for the time of year that I read it in. I will definitely be checking out more of Sarah Morgan's books in the future. Again, the second book that I finished this month was Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. So in this book, we follow Alex Stern, who has supernatural ability. We see her as she accepts a offer from a Yale administrator to kind of be the watchdog over secret societies that are happening, and her role is to supervise the rituals that are going on by the secret societies. Each secret society has an ability with magic, and her goal is to be the gatekeeper of such magics and make sure that nothing sketch is going on. That role is brought into question when there is a murder that happened on campus, as well as her mentor disappears. So that is how the book begins. That's what we're thrown into. I really enjoyed this book. I found Alex to be so interesting, and I really enjoyed seeing how she reacted to certain situations. She's definitely a badass. Again, she comes from a very troubled background. Her background does feature substance abuse, instances of rape, just bad people, body horrors involved in this book as well. So I'd stray away if you're timid in those areas or if you're triggered by those things. but they're not huge chunks of the book. There are just like instances that happen with those things in the book that you may want to watch out for. It was definitely a darker book in comparison to the Christmas Sisters that I finished first. But again, I was really interested by it. I loved reading about Yale, about New Haven. The history is kind of thrown in there about New Haven. I enjoyed reading about the Greys, and I enjoyed the secret societies very much. It was very interesting, and I gave this book 5 out of 5 stars. I believe it's the first book in a upcoming series, so I'm very excited about that. And yeah, definitely pick it up if you're looking for a gripping page turner that's very kind of gothic in tone. So the last book that I finished this month was actually my most highly anticipated release for 2019. It is the long-awaited second book from Erin Morgenstern, and that is The Starless Sea. You may know Erin Morgenstern as the author of The Night Circus. Well, this is her second book. It is completely separate from The Night Circus, so just know that going in. In this book, we follow Zachary Ezra Rollins, who is a son of a fortune teller. He is a bibliophile. He is a graduate student studying video games, and he finds himself in quite of a situation. So basically, he comes across a door as a young child and is proposed with a choice. Do I open the door, or do I just walk away and act like it doesn't happen? Well, he walks away, acts like it doesn't happen, and later he's in the library and he's reading this book. And the book has that experience in it, down to the T. And so, of course, he's questioned and confused about why he's in this book. And so that's where the quest takes off, basically. And we meet a hodgepodge of characters who are all lovely. This book was very atmospheric, very cozy. If you are interested in books or warm fires, owls, cats, it's very, very like a book that would hug you when you're reading it. If you've read Erin Morgenstern before, you know that she's very atmospheric and very lyrical with her writing, which is something I enjoyed, but an aspect of this book that I did not enjoy was that the characters were kind of lackluster for me. I felt like our main character, I didn't really get a sense of who he is. In Ninth House, I got a very strong sense of who Alex is, but in The Starless Sea, I didn't really gather a sense of who Zachary. I gave this book 4 out of 5 stars. I enjoyed it for the writing style. I like the atmospheric style. I just kind of felt myself trudging through it at times because it is very dense in that way. You kind of have to move through it slowly to soak up all the beautiful writing. It wasn't character driven. It was very much atmospherically driven, and that made it difficult to finish, which is why it was my last finish of the month. I still enjoyed it. I still think it was a very interesting and original story, but I just wish it would have been a little bit more character driven and a little less so heavy on the scenery and the atmosphere. So there you have it. Those were my 3 reads for the month of January. I kind of hit a little bit of everything, honestly. You got the Christmas feel-good story, you got the dark, gothic, supernatural, fantasy kind of story, and you got the very lovely, beautifully written, atmospheric story. So I'm pretty happy with all of my reads. Next month, I want to focus on graphic novels as well as queer relationships. So I have a couple of books on hold at the library that should be ready pretty soon, and I can't wait to share them with you guys. And thank you for spending time with me today, and I'll see you later.